So I haven't made a video in a while because, you know, life happens. Also, I haven't made a video in months because life happened. So there was a lot of things going on in my life. I just didn't have the brain power to do videos. So things are starting to calm down now. So I'm starting to get the brain power. Right now, I'm sitting in my car at a job site waiting for subcontractors to show up. I'm doing site work, landscaping, just finished some drainage, and I'm also doing mop-up work for the interiors. And mop-up for a field super just means that you've taken over the job from another super. And unfortunately, this job for the building and interiors has gone through numerous supers. So I'm the fourth one and trying to finish that up. So I'm almost done with the inside, and now want to get into, you know, what I'm supposed to be doing, which is the site work. So I want to concentrate on that. Hopefully my site work guy shows up today. I'm not sure because they're still waiting for inspections to be passed, but you know, it is what it is. So this video I'm gonna make is, I just did a huge grocery shopping yesterday. It was $650 worth of groceries. That just shows you I haven't gone grocery shopping since June, I think, and it's now October, so a long time. So cupboards were bare. So yeah, I had to do huge grocery shopping. So I'm gonna be doing meal prepping this weekend. So that's what this video is going to be. I think I'm going to make macaroni and cheese. I'm going to make lasagna soup. I mean, they call it lasagna soup, but I'm not using lasagna. I'm just going to use regular pasta. I'm going to make a chicken helper meal, which actually uses ground chicken, which I don't have, but I had ground turkey in my freezer, so I'm just going to use that. It's like a hamburger helper, but with poultry. So that's going to be like a chicken parmesan helper dinner. Also going to make pasta sauce. I need to make that. And there was something else I was going to make too, and I forgot what it is, but I have it written down at home. I don't have the list on me as I'm sitting in my car in the dark at 6:30 in the morning waiting for people to show up. I was hoping the painter would be showing up this early because I told him he could, but as I see, he's not here. So I'm here drinking my coffee, just waiting for people to show up. I hate being the early person. When you're early and then you just sit here. Or like, you know, if you show up, you're supposed to meet people or go to a party or something, and you're always the early one. And I hate being the first person that arrives. So like, you just sit around waiting for other people to show up. So you're like maybe the third person to walk in, even though you were the first person there. Yeah, that's me. So one of the really, really sad things that has gone on in the past few months is my dog Cooper died. So that was devastating to me. He died in May. He was 13 years old, so he had a good life, and I was lucky to have him in my life. And in September, we got, and I say we because my son has moved back in with me. We got another dog named Petey, who looks like the Little Rascals dog, and I seem to have an affinity for psychopaths because Cooper was a psychopath, and it seems Petey is a psychopath too. It's very leash reactive, so Gotta start that training again. That was not fun the first time around. It's not gonna be fun this time around. But we are still trying to figure each other out. So I need to learn what works for him so that so I can get him out of that zone. I haven't figured out what works for him. He is very food motivated, but once he gets in the zone, he doesn't care. He doesn't care what you shove in his face. So we have to work on that. So that's going to be a lot of work with him. He's, 5 years old. So, he already has these habits with him. So he's reactive to other dogs. And surprisingly enough, he's reactive to men on walks, yeah, Cooper was, it took a long time to train him to not be that way, but Cooper was pretty easy because if you touched him, he kind of came out of the zone that he was in, and he listened, and he was extremely smart. Petey, pretty dense. So, yeah, I have to figure that out for him. But that will come. That'll come in time. He hasn't been with us that long, so, that'll come in time with him. And, yeah, so he got him from the shelter. He was in the shelter for a year. He wasn't getting adopted for whatever reason. Super cute, very cuddly. One of those dogs that just wants to crawl up inside your body and never leave it. And I was surprised. They did say that he should be the only dog in the household, but I was really surprised when I took him for his first walk of how reactive that he actually is. Because at the shelter, when I walked him around the shelter, because it's one of those shelters that allows you to walk the dogs so you can get a feel for them. So when I was walking him and there were other dogs around, he wasn't reactive at all. So I was surprised about how reactive he actually is. So it's just a sign that he was kind of used to being in the shelter, which is pretty sad. But he came from an abandonment situation. He was abandoned in a house, and somebody brought him into the shelter. Apparently, from what they found out, is his owners were evicted. His original owners were evicted from their house, and they kind of left him. So, that's kind of sad. But anyway, he's a happy little dog. I don't really know how he is when people come to the house because I don't have a lot of visitors to my house, nor do I want them. I don't want visitors to my house. I'm one of those people. So we're working on that. He wasn't house trained, so we're working on that. He's he's like 90% better with that, but that also had a lot to do with me learning what his signals are that he had to relieve himself. So I figured out what his signal is. So since I figured that out, he hasn't had any accidents that I know of. I don't know. My son may be cleaning up accidents that he has had when I'm not home. But other than that, he's a really good dog. So yeah, that's what's been happening in my life. Oh, someone just pulled up. I wonder if, no, not one of my subcontractors, unfortunately. So yeah, so I'm going to stop this video here, and we'll start another one tomorrow morning. when I start doing my meal prepping. So I figure, since I'm still waiting for people to come here, I would give you a tour of actually what we are working on. This is going to be a library, like a children's library. So right now we have this little patio here, and this is my site work. It's not really very exciting, but this is going to be a handicap ramp that we still have to finish off, and we'll take a stroll. So it's going to be a walkway going all the way there. This is going to be a planting area. So this is the walkway. Obviously we still have to grade it. We have to put down concrete so the walkways and curves, and then in front of the building this is going to be like pavers going up to the steps, and then it circles all the way around. There's a bunch of string here that I have to try not to trip on, which I do on a daily basis even though I know it's there. This is also going to be a handicap ramp from the front side down, and then in this little area here where that camper is, this is also going to be a small plot of landscaping. And then this here is also going to be a small plot of landscaping, and then you come around to here and there is a walkway going all the way down there, and then at the side of the building to where you see that trench, that's also going to be a landscaping area too. So isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? So that is what I am working on out here. It's cold. It's cold out. Fall is a-coming. So we're in the inside of the building. Now, I did not build this building. I was sent here to get it finished because the 3 supers before me did not do the job properly, and the owner's not accepting the construction. So I am trying to fix as much as can be fixed, and also doing punch lists. So when you walk in the front door that we just walked in, it's bathroom, janitorial closet, custodian closet, whatever. And this is like the main area. I guess these are tables that the library is going to be setting up. I don't know what for. And then when you walk in this is a meeting room that was put in, and little sink, refrigerator, and then right here is a wall that you could pull out to separate it for, I guess, activities that they're going to have for the kids. And then you just keep walking through here. Has an elevator to the basement. Over here is water fountain. There's going to be like a little countertop right here and they're going to put a coffee maker and stuff in there. And then through this door is the stairs to the basement. But this is like the main area for the children. How it's going to be set up, I have no idea, but they already have their furniture in here. This wallpaper here is absolutely atrocious that was picked, and we have to do this whole thing over because it was not hung properly and they're not accepting it. This is the back entrance to this building. This is also part of my site work. I have to clean up this back area, so I have to, they call it clean and grubbing, so I have to take everything down 4 inches and then install 4 inches of topsoil with seed And then these are your little books. I guess this is going to be their little computer area. This is all their bookshelves that they're putting in. I guess a little study area, little lounge area with a gas fireplace. And then, oh, sun's bright. This is a conference room that has to be done. And they're calling this a meeting room, but it's almost like they have, I don't know what they're using it for, honestly. I have no idea. They have desks here, a little kitchen table here, a fridge, a sink, some cabinets, but I don't know. I just built the things. I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, so this is like the main, obviously, portion of the library. It's small, but you know, it'll do. Oh, here's another little study nook that they have. And then this is the little porch area that I showed you from outside. And then I think these are like solar charging stations. That's my guess. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the construction of this place. All I know is I was thrown here against my wishes. And now I'm like stuck until my next job starts, which is, I'll be going to Nassau Community College to do work there. So that's a 1.5-year job. So hopefully I won't be getting thrown into other supers jobs, because with this company, this is the 3rd one that has happened to me, and yeah, I'm not too happy about it, but you know, it's work. You do what you have to do. So there is a hazard on job sites. This is my 4th tape measure in 2 weeks. You know what? One broke, and 2 others got stolen, even with my name on them. They just like walked away. Don't know where they are. Can't find them. 4th one. Hopefully, I can keep this one with me for quite a while before this one walks away on me. So, high commodity tools always get stolen. Always. Annoys the hell out of me. But you know, I've stolen others too, so I just don't like when mine gets stolen. Okay, so today on the menu, I don't even know what time is it? Who knows? It's early in the morning. So today on the menu for meal prep, I'm going to make egg foo young, mac and cheese. I'm going to put some ham in the mac and cheese this time. And maybe some peas. Why not? I need more veggies in my life. Lasagna soup, turkey helper, tomato sauce, and tomato, burrata bake. I'm going to make that. And if I have the energy, because I have been up since 2:30, we're going to make bagels. Right now I have in the oven no knead bread. So let's get cooking. Let me turn you around so you face the stove. Okay, so right now I have a pot. I have some avocado oil in it. You can use olive oil. I would not suggest using vegetable oil. You could use bacon grease. You can use lard. Those are your choices. So into that, I'm just going to put 1 onion, roughly chopped, because this is going to be cooking so long that see, I can't talk. I've been up so late, so early. It'll cook so long that the onions will pretty much dissolve. And also in this pot here, I have water boiling for the pasta for the mac and cheese. And to be honest with you, I'm using 3 different types of pasta because I had 3 boxes open, which and each of them had like a quarter of pasta. So I'm just going to use what I have. So I have some ziti, some rotini, and some bow ties. So yeah, it's going to be a fancy mac and cheese. So let your onions cook for a little while until they get a little translucent, not so hard. And let me tell you, tomato sauce, easiest thing in the world to make. Easiest thing. It's like a dump and go in your pot, and then you cook it for like forever. So let me get back to you when these are soft. Okay, so my onions are softened. Just going to add some garlic. I have no measurements or anything, so pretty much all this is to taste. I love garlic. I put a ton of it in. Like a ton. So you're just going to cook this for a little bit. Garlic doesn't take long to cook, and it will burn right away. Put that in there. What I'm going to put in my tomato sauce this time is just some ground Italian sausage. You could put in sausage links, you could put in meatballs, you could put in bowls, you could do chopped meat, you could do nothing. It doesn't really matter. I'm just in the mood for ground sausage. So I'm just going to put that in the pot. Make sure to take the paper off. I'm just going to break this up as best as possible. You don't even have to wait for the meat to cook, because everything's going to be cooking while it's going. I'm just going to get my meat chopper. Not in such big chunks. And I have my stovetop on low. And then when this is done, I'm just going to turn it on simmer. I have here tomato puree. 4 cans. You can use diced tomatoes, crushed tomatoes, mixture of everything. It doesn't really matter. Just gonna pour that in. For some reason, it's really thick. Like seriously thick. I've never seen tomato puree so thick in my life. I had this lid that I was trying to open, and it was giving me such a hard time to open the. Don't you hate when you have that? And then this one too is giving me a hard time. I don't know why they make cans. It's so hard to open. And then usually I add in tomato paste. I do like my sauce fairly thick, which this is really thick. And it's usually 1 small can of tomato paste per 2 cans of whatever kind of tomatoes you're using. Diced, crushed, whatever. And this is pretty thick, so I'm also going to add some water. just 1 can. And stir that up. And you're going to be stirring this periodically throughout the day. I usually let my sauce cook for almost 2 to 3 hours. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take, I just take some basil. You can use Italian seasoning if you want, whatever. Lots of basil, lots. And then the other thing that I also put in is salt. I have pink Himalayan salt here. You can use kosher salt, you can use table salt. I've used it all. But you want to use a fairly healthy amount because you know the tomatoes are pretty acidic. Stir it up again. Make sure everything's well incorporated. And you know, as you continue to stir your sauce, if it's still a little bit too thick, just add more liquid. If it's too loose, you can add more tomato paste. Then, all you do here is sorry about that, how to find the lid to fit. Stick a lid on it, put it on low or simmer, and just leave it for hours, honestly. So my pot of water is boiling. I'm going to throw my pasta in for the mac and cheese. And I don't make any kind of fancy mac and cheese. I don't do the roux. I don't do anything fancy with the milk. I just make old-fashioned mac and cheese. Boil pasta, put it in your casserole dish, add some milk, add some cheese, salt and pepper, and then if you want to do ham or whatever, throw that in. Vegetables, throw that in, shove it in the oven, and that's pretty much it. So, I will get back to you when the pasta's done, and when you're going to make pasta for a casserole, you don't want your pasta to be all the way cooked. You want it somewhat undone because it's going to cook again in the oven. And if you cook it till it's done on the stove and then throw it in the oven, you have mushy pasta. I mean, if you like mushy pasta, that's fine. But I don't like mushy pasta. So I will get back to you as soon as that's done. Okay, so move my coffee out of the way, move this thing so you can see it, move all my stuff. I only have a limited surface space to work with. So, my pasta, not all the way finished. I drained it all. It's now in the casserole dish, and as you can see, we have 3 different types. I was not lying when I said that. What I have is, I'm going to use some fat-free half and half, and we have 2% milk here, because, you know, even though it's mac and cheese, doesn't mean it has to be hugely caloric. Salt, putting in this bad boy, and some black pepper. I like mine with like just a little bite. Stir it around. Because I used to previously make YouTube videos when I was on Weight Watchers and then went to Healthy. So I try to stay in with those parameters, but I've also added as much full stuff as possible. So the cheese I'm using in here, full fat cheese. And I try to eat as much protein as I can. So what I'm going to do here is I have, like I said, I was going to add ham. All I did was I bought a very small spiral ham from Walmart when I went food shopping the other day. I have a bunch of cheddar that we're going to throw in here. And I have 8 ounces of brie, because lately I have been on a brie kick. But it's mac and cheese. You can put anything you want, any kind of cheese. Cheddar, I mean, you always have to have cheddar. You can't forgo the cheddar. What's mozzarella you can put in. You could put in, I just forgot the name of that cheese because I have it also in my fridge. You could put in Colby Jack is what I have. If you, I mean, pretty much anything, mozzarella, anything. Let's stir this around. I like my mac and cheese juicy. And look, I already have a stain on my sweatshirt. I like my mac and cheese juicy, so I put on a lot of, and of course the stupid loop on the half and half just broke. Oh, we're gonna have to open it the old-fashioned way. This way. If we can get it. I may have to do a knife. Things are just not cooperating with me this morning. I don't understand. What is going on? The cans didn't want to open. Now the stupid milk doesn't want to open. Let's just destroy the damn carton while we're at it. Okay. Yes, welcome to real life, people. And believe me, this will not be edited out because you know what? I don't know how to do that. And I don't have the time for it either, to be quite honest with you. So, you know what? This is cooking in real life because it's not like anybody else doesn't have this issue. There we go. Old-fashioned way. See? Just going to pour some of this in here. And then I'm also going to add 2% milk. 2. And like I said, I like my mac and cheese juicy. So there's a lot of milk in here. And it's not going to come out of the oven like this either, because pasta sucks a lot of liquids up in itself. And then I think I am going to add some peas to this. So I have some frozen peas. Sweet peas I have. Just going to cut open the bag. This is one of those steam in the bag things, which I never steam in the bag because it's way too much for me. It doesn't matter what it, corn, asparagus, doesn't matter. I never steam them in the bag because, you know, there's only so much that I can eat and then the rest just winds up going bad. So we got a peas. And sweet peas is the only kind of peas I like. I used to love lima beans. I can't handle them anymore. I used to like cauliflower too. And ugh. Yeah. Then since my arm's really tired from grating that cheese by hand, I'm using already shredded cheese. And I'm just going to throw this on the top of the mac and cheese. And I love cheese, as you can see. That's it. And then we're going to throw it in the oven, 350, for about roughly 30 minutes, but check on it periodically. And I've already stirred the sauce since I've made it, so that is going good. And yes, I'm going to throw this in the oven, half an hour. I'm going to clean up my area, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so next up is this, well, I'm calling it turkey helper. You can use ground turkey, ground chicken. I didn't have ground chicken. I usually use ground chicken. They didn't have any, so I have ground turkey here. I got this from, I believe I got it from Walmart. Yes, I did get it from Walmart. So I'm just going to put the ground turkey in the pan. Now, if you're cooking with ground turkey, ground chicken, you always need to add oil to the pan. Wash my hands. Okay. I'm just going to add some avocado oil here. So, again, another recipe I don't have measurements to. I just add as I go because I've been making this for so long. So we're just gonna turn the heat up a smidge, and I'm gonna wait for the ground turkey to cook. This is a pound of ground turkey. You can do this with ground beef also, if you like. Stir my sauce again. Starting to smell good. Thickness that I like. Keep that going. Alright. Come back to you when this is cooked. Alright. Ground turkey's cooked. I just turned the heat down. And we're going to add the rest of the stuff. So I have some garlic powder. And we're going to add in. Like I said, I like garlic. So, pretty much going to finish that. Onion powder. You know, you can use fresh if you want. Both. You can chop up an onion, like finely chop up an onion, and you can use fresh garlic if you want. To taste everything, usually everything I make is to taste. So, garlic powder there. This is onion powder. Brand new. Put some of that in there. I have some Italian herbs. I thought I bought more Italian herbs, but apparently I didn't. I bought 2 things of basil. And garbage. And then you want to add tomato sauce. I have this Francesco Rinaldi. It was on sale. A jar. I was going to say half, but the whole jar got away from me. And then you're also going to add water. Jar of water. You're going to add maybe about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. There. mozzarella. You could use fresh if you want, but you know, we're doing things the easy way. I don't know, handful. And then you're going to take some pasta. And you're just going to add, I did about half a box of pasta. Stir it around. So, add some salt and pepper to taste. You know what? Just for a little extra kick, we're going to add some crushed red peppers. Because you know, I'm in a spicy mood today. Pinch of those. Stir it up again. And you're going to cook this on medium-low until the pasta's done. Okay, so the turkey helper is finished. So we're just going to let this cool off till I bake it up. And then when you serve this, you just sprinkle some Parmesan on top. And some mozzarella. Mac and cheese out of the oven. Waiting for that to cool off. And here is my sauce. Just cooking away. Gonna be cooking away for probably another 3 hours. Okay, we're gonna start the egg foo young now. On the stove, I have a pot of rice going, and I know a lot of people are very intimidated by making rice. I'm going to give you my way of making rice, and it's never failed me since. What I do is, and I have an electric stove too, and electric stoves are kind of hard to regulate the heat. So in my pot, I have 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. I also cook my rice in chicken bouillon just to give it a little extra taste. So what I do is I put it on the stove, cook it on high, have it come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, I turn the stove off and put a lid on the rice and just let it sit there. And by the time you're ready for the rice, it'll be done. So that's the way I found to make rice. Otherwise, you know, when I was following directions and everything, I would have either mushy rice or uncooked rice. But this way I found I always get perfect rice. So we're gonna do the egg foo young now. And I'm gonna double this recipe. So I'm gonna need about 10 eggs. Now, oh, perfect. I have 10 eggs right in my holder. Oh, double yolk. Oh, shell fell in. Easy way to get your shells out when they fall in is to take them out with a shell because they stick to each other. Alright, that's 10 eggs. Let me wash my hands. So I have a can here of bean sprouts. This is a 14-ounce can. And like I said, I'm doubling this recipe. So if you're just gonna not double the recipe, you would just use an 8-ounce can. And then to see what it is today, the cans are giving me a hard time opening. And then you drain the bean sprouts. Okay. Just put them in the bowl with your egg. Let's see if I can avoid chopping my fingers up. I try to get this out. Oh, got another shell. Okay. And then you're going to add in, let me get rid of these. Kind of making a mess. I have here about a cup of green onions, and I have 20 ounces of shrimp, and this is small frozen shrimps that I just roughly chopped up. I'll put them in, wipe my hands. And then you're going to need, where did I put it? Hold on. So discombobulated. It's from being up so early. Thank you, menopause. So you're going to add some, garlic powder to that. I'm going to take a fork and mix it around. Like so. Meanwhile, while you're doing this, you're going to take a skillet and you're going to add about, I'm using vegetable oil, and it's about 2 tablespoons of oil because things get fried. And my rice is boiling right now. So we're going to get a top, put it in the pot, turn the heat off. And then just let it go. Just gonna mix all this up. Then turn the heat on the pan. Set this aside until the pan is heated up. Get rid of my cutting board. Throw out my can. And we're just going to add eggs to our little handy egg holder here. I don't understand. They make these things. These things hold 14 eggs. I don't understand why they take 14. Why couldn't they do 12? I don't get it. Throw this out. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to spin you around so you can see what I'm doing. You can see the pan, and you can. Yay. I'm gonna need another pot here too for the sauce for the egg fouillon. Just gonna stir my tomato sauce again while I'm at it. See if my oil's good. Not yet. So I'll get back to my oil is, oh, it actually spoke to me. All right, so what you do with this, may not be sizzling hot, but it'll do. So what you do with this is, get a bigger spoon, is you take your mixture and you just pop it in the pan like so. You want to cook it until the eggs and shrimp are cooked through. Spatula out. Meanwhile, while we are cooking that, we can start on the sauce. So the sauce is, where's my measuring cup? 3 cups chicken broth. And I'm actually using chicken bouillon. Turn the flame on. I just use this the Nord chicken bouillon thing. And I think I have just enough for this. Put that in. Get a whisk. Whisk this around, get rid of the lumps. And you're also going to need 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, because that's going to be your thickener in here for this. Why I have nothing in front of me, I have absolutely no idea. One, 2. Whisk it up so that you get rid of any of the lumps. This makes a lot of sauce, which is why I'm not doubling this. Now, we're going to flip these. And they're not being very cooperative on the flippy thing. And then we need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Oh, by the way, I had to go out and buy more pasta because I ran out. And the other 2 recipes I want to make take pasta. 2 tablespoons of sugar. Tablespoons of rice vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So it's pretty easy. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. It seems to be 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to whisk it around. let it come to a boil. Now when these pancakes are done, I'm just going to put them on a plate with a paper towel. Set the oil drains off. Try to get all little bits out of the pan. You don't want them burning, because then it'll stink. So they're going to look like this. And then you just keep making your pancakes. Stirring this sauce, it goes good. And once your oil is heated up in your pan, these things go pretty damn fast. You just have to make sure that you don't burn them. And the eggs and shrimp, since they're roughly chopped, well, shrimp doesn't take long to cook anyway, but since these are roughly chopped, it takes no time at all, especially since they're cooking in hot oil. Just keep whisking the sauce, thick enough, and that way it doesn't scorch the bottom of your pan. And then we just take the next one. Put them on the plate. Get the little bits out again so that they don't burn in the pan. And you just keep going. My sauce is done. So I'm going to bring the sauce and I'm going to get it off the heat so that it doesn't keep cooking and burning. I'll let this cool off, and as it cools off, it's just going to get thicker, but it looks like this. And then we'll package this up also. And just flip, and you flip them one end around on the side. these up. I'm going to clean up the kitchen, make some room for me, and then we're going to start on the next recipe. Okay, next up is this lasagna soup. Turn the heat on. Your stove. And you're going to add a pound of chopped Italian sausage. Again, remove the paper. You're going to cook that till it's browned. Okay, we'll let this cook. We'll be back with next steps. Okay, once sausage is cooked, I'm just going to remove it from the pot into a bowl. I'm going to leave whatever fat's in the pot. You're not going to take the fat out. You're going to add some chopped onion. Put that up here. We're going to cook this till it's softened. Down a tad, a little hot. Now this calls for mushrooms, which I don't have, so we are going to leave that out. So far we got our onions cooking. Chicken, my diet 7-Up. I'm very thirsty. Alright, I'll come back when these are softened. Okay, so like I said, this thing calls for mushroom. I do not have mushroom. So, it calls for garlic, which I like a lot of garlic. The mushroom I'm using, the onion I'm using is a sweet mushroom, and I use this onion, and I use the sweet onion in the tomato sauce also. Just gonna mix this around. We're going to add in 4 cups of chicken broth, which I used the Knorr chicken bouillon. And then we're going to add in a can of tomato sauce here. This is a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. Add that in. And then we're going to add in a can of diced tomatoes, seasoned diced tomatoes. having all these issues with these cans today? I don't get it. Put them in. I'm going to put in a cup of... Oh, we have to put our sausage back in. Almost forgot about that. Put your sausage back in. Mix it up. And then we're going to add in a cup of uncooked pasta, which I think I'm going to use rotini because why the hell not? Measure. Then you want some fresh spinach. We're just going to put in two very healthy handfuls. And that will cook down to almost nothing. Let's stir this up again. Spinach in there. It wilts. Just going to turn the heat up just a smidge. We need a cup of mozzarella cheese. I had it here somewhere. Now it's going to do a healthy handful. And then need a 1/4 cup of parm. And 4 teaspoons of basil. One open. Pretty sure I had one open. There we go. You know what? We're just going to take this plastic top off. 4 teaspoons. We're going to stir that up again. Everything is incorporated. And turn the heat down a smidge. I'm going to put a lid on. And then this is going to cook for about 15 minutes. Okay, next up is the tomato burrata sauce. And this is probably what I'm going to have for dinner, so I'm not going to make the pasta. I'll make this now. I'll make it for dinner, and then I'll pack up whatever it needs. So, 1/4 cup olive oil. which needs to be heated up. The lasagna soup was absolutely delicious. That is done. Pasta is cooked through. I tasted it. It doesn't need any salt or pepper at all. So when you serve this, you just garnish it with some Parmesan cheese and mozzarella if you want. But it's absolutely delicious. So you're going to heat up this oil here. My other pot here, I'm just boiling some water with baking soda to get all the burnt stuff off the bottom of the pan. This is the pan I use for the egg foo young. So we're going to add 6, well, it says 6 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to add that in. To stir, half a teaspoon of basil, just gonna eyeball it. Good enough. And it says 1/4 teaspoon crushed red pepper. Whoa. That's a hell of a lot more than a 1/4 teaspoon. So we're just going to eyeball that too. Good enough. As you notice with my cooking, I just pretty much eyeball a lot of things. And even when I do baking, I don't use separate bowls for dry and wet. They all go in the same one. Okay. So it says to cook this 1 to 2 minutes. We're going to need a lid for this also. I want that fits. There we go. Then it says add salt and pepper. And salt and pepper is always to taste, obviously. Let me turn this down. Let me heat down a little. Pepper. Stir this up. Garlic is fragrant. And then it's just to add your cherry or grape tomatoes. Cover. Oh, we forgot to toss. Toss them in the oil and garlic and stuff. It actually says 3 cups of tomatoes. Obviously, this is not 3 cups. Because I am making this at the last minute just to see how it is. And then it says to cook for 25 minutes until the tomatoes burst. So I'll be back. Okay, so here's the, I don't even know if you call it a sauce. With the, I guess if you have 3 cups of tomatoes, it would be a sauce. But anyway, they burst. I don't like whole tomatoes, so I kind of squished them down. But this is going to be for my dinner tonight. So I think what I'll do is when I make the pasta, I'll add some tomato sauce to it. And anyway, in the recipe, if you add 3 cups of tomatoes, you take your burrata cheese, you put it in there, mix it around, and then you serve it on top of your pasta. If you don't have burrata, mozzarella is a good substitute. So here is my tomato sauce, still cooking away. It's on low, so that'll be going for another couple hours, and I'll show you what we got so far. So we have 3 of the lasagna soups. We got 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the mac and cheese, and we got 3 of the turkey helper. I made up 5 of the egg foo young. I'll show you what they did there. I have some meal prep things, so that's that. We have 5 dishes of that. My no knead bread came out a little wonky, but it will be fine. So yeah, I'm going to end the video there. Definitely not making bagels, just don't have it in me. I'm completely exhausted. I was also going to clean the house. That's not happening either. Tomorrow's another day. If I make the bagels tomorrow, I will record that and put it on my next video. But until then, I'll see you next time on what the hell am I going to eat all week.